Hi there, welcome back to American Lingo Academy. I'm Fiona, and today we're going to learn 10 super useful phrasal verbs that native English speakers use all the time in everyday conversation. These expressions might sound a little strange at first, but don't worry. I'm going to explain each one very clearly, and I'll give you 2 real-life examples for every single phrasal verb so you can understand exactly how to use them. Are you ready? Let's get started. Number 1, enter for. This phrasal verb means to officially put your name into a competition, contest, or event. When you enter for something, you're signing up to participate in it. Maybe it's a race, a talent show, or even a lottery. You're basically saying, I want to be part of this, and you fill out the forms or do whatever is needed to join. For example, imagine your friend loves running and there's a big marathon happening in your city next month. Your friend has been training really hard every morning, and she's finally ready to compete. She goes online, fills out the registration form, pays the entry fee, and now she's officially part of the race. You can say, she entered for the city marathon and she's so excited about it. She's been preparing for weeks and can't wait for race day to arrive. Here's another one. Let's say your daughter is really talented at drawing. Her school announces an art competition where students can win prizes and get their artwork displayed in the main hall. Your daughter thinks this is a great opportunity, so she creates a beautiful painting and submits it with an entry form. Now she's waiting to hear if she'll win. You can tell your neighbor, my daughter entered for the school art competition, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. She worked so hard on her painting and really hopes the judges will like it. Number 2, enter into. This one means to begin or start something, usually something official or serious like an agreement, a contract, a discussion, or a relationship. When you enter into something, you're committing to it and becoming a part of it. It's often used for formal situations where 2 or more people or groups agree to do something together. For example, think about 2 companies that want to work together on a new project. Maybe one company makes smartphones and the other company makes special camera lenses. They both see that working together could help them create an amazing new product. So they have meetings, discuss the details, and finally, sign a contract. Now they're partners. You can say, the 2 companies entered into a partnership to develop new technology. They believe that by combining their strengths, they can create something really innovative and successful. Here's another one. Imagine your best friend has been dating someone for about 3 years. They love each other very much and have decided they want to spend the rest of their lives together. So they plan a beautiful wedding, invite all their family and friends, and exchange vows. Now they're husband and wife. You can tell someone, my best friend just entered into marriage last weekend, and the ceremony was absolutely beautiful. Everyone was so happy for them, and you could really feel the love in the room. Number 3, eye up. This phrasal verb means to look at something or someone with interest, especially because you're thinking about whether you want it or like it. Sometimes it means you're checking something out, maybe judging it or considering it carefully. It can be about food, objects, or even people, and it's usually pretty casual. For example, let's say you're walking through the mall with your friend and you pass by a shoe store. In the window, there's a pair of really stylish sneakers that catch your attention. They're exactly your style and your favorite color. You stop walking, stare at them through the glass, and start thinking about whether you should buy them. Your friend notices and says, I saw you eyeing up those sneakers in the window. You looked like you really wanted them. Are you going to go back and buy them later? Here's another one. Imagine you're at a family barbecue on a sunny Sunday afternoon. There's a big table full of delicious food, hamburgers, hot dogs, potato salad, and a huge chocolate cake for dessert. You've just finished eating your main course, but that cake looks incredible. You keep glancing at it, wondering if you have room for a slice. Your cousin laughs and says, I can see you eyeing up that chocolate cake. Don't worry, I saved you a big piece because I know it's your favorite. Go ahead and enjoy it. Number 4, face off. This means to confront someone or compete against someone directly, usually in a challenging or competitive situation. It's like two people or two teams standing opposite each other, ready to see who's better or who will win. You might hear this in sports, games, debates, or even arguments. For example, think about two basketball teams that have been rivals for years. They're both really good, and every time they play against each other, it's an exciting and intense game. Tonight is the championship, and everyone in town is talking about it. The stadium is packed with fans cheering loudly. You can say, the two teams will face off in the finals tonight, and everyone expects it to be an incredible game. Both teams have been practicing hard, and they really want to win that trophy. Here's another one. Imagine there's been tension at your workplace about a new policy. Some employees think it's fair, but others strongly disagree. The manager decides to hold a meeting where everyone can share their opinions. Two coworkers who have very different views are asked to present their arguments to the group. You can tell your friend, during the meeting today, Sarah and Tom faced off over the new policy. They each explained their side, and it got pretty heated, but in the end, I think everyone understood both perspectives better. Number 5, face up to. This phrasal verb means to accept and deal with something difficult, unpleasant, or challenging. Instead of avoiding a problem or pretending it doesn't exist, you face up to it by admitting it's there and taking action to handle it. It takes courage to face up to things, especially when they're hard or uncomfortable. For example, let's say your brother has been having trouble with his credit card debt for several months. He kept ignoring the bills, hoping the problem would somehow go away, but of course it didn't. The debt just kept growing bigger. Finally, he realizes he needs to do something about it. He sits down, looks at all his bills, makes a budget, and calls the credit card company to set up a payment plan. You can say, my brother finally faced up to his financial problems and created a plan to pay off his debt. It wasn't easy for him to admit he needed help, but now he feels much better knowing he's taking control. Here's another one. Imagine your teenage daughter hasn't been doing well in math class this semester. She's been getting low grades on her tests and assignments, but she kept telling herself it wasn't a big deal. Then report cards come out, and she realizes she might fail the class if she doesn't improve. Instead of making excuses, she decides to face up to the situation. She talks to her teacher, starts going to tutoring sessions after school, and spends extra time studying every night. You can tell your neighbor, my daughter is finally facing up to her struggles in math. She's working with a tutor now, and I can already see her confidence growing. I'm really proud of her for not giving up. If you're enjoying this lesson so far, please take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We upload new videos every single day to help you improve your English, and your support really means the world to me. Okay, let's continue. Number 6, faff about. This is a very casual and kind of funny British expression that Americans also use sometimes. It means to waste time doing unimportant things or not being productive. When someone is faffing about, they're being a bit lazy or distracted, maybe doing little tasks that don't really matter instead of focusing on what they should be doing. For example, imagine it's Saturday morning and your husband said he would clean the garage today. You check on him after an hour, and he's not really cleaning. Instead, he's looking through old boxes, reading magazines from 10 years ago, and reorganizing tools that don't need to be organized. He's been busy, but he hasn't actually accomplished the main task. You can say, he's been faffing about in the garage all morning and hasn't actually cleaned anything yet. I don't think he'll finish before lunch at this rate. He just keeps getting distracted by random stuff. Here's another one. Let's say you're trying to leave the house with your kids to go to the park, and you told them to get ready 15 minutes ago. But when you check on them, they're still in their pajamas. One is playing with toys, another is watching TV, and nobody has put on shoes yet. You're starting to get frustrated because you wanted to leave on time. You can say, stop faffing about and get your shoes on, or we're going to be late. We need to leave right now, so let's focus and get moving, please. Number 7, faff around. This means exactly the same thing as faff about. It's another way to say someone is wasting time or not being productive. You can use either one, and native speakers will understand you perfectly. They both have that same casual, slightly annoyed feeling when you're talking about someone who should be getting things done but isn't. For example, think about a group project at work where you and 3 coworkers need to create a presentation for an important client meeting next week. You've been working hard on your part, doing research and making slides, but one of your coworkers hasn't done anything useful. Every time. You have a team meeting, he talks about random topics, checks his phone, and suggests ideas that don't help the project at all. You can tell another coworker, "I'm worried because he's been faffing around instead of doing his part. We have a deadline coming up fast, and we really need everyone to contribute. Maybe we should talk to him about it." Here's another one. Imagine your teenage son has a big history test on Monday, and it's already Sunday evening. He told you he would study all afternoon, but every time you walk past his room, he's doing something else. First, he was playing video games, then he was texting his friends, and now he's making a snack in the kitchen. You're concerned because you know this test is really important for his grade. You can say, "You need to stop faffing around and start studying right now. Your test is tomorrow morning, and you haven't even opened your textbook yet. I know it's not fun, but you'll feel so much better once you're prepared." Number 8, fall about. This is another British expression that means to laugh uncontrollably or laugh so hard that you can barely stand up. When something is really, really funny, you might fall about with laughter. It's a strong expression that shows something was absolutely hilarious, not just a little bit funny. For example, let's say you're watching a comedy show with your family on Friday night. One of the comedians tells a joke about something that happened to him at the airport, and it's so funny and relatable that everyone in your living room starts laughing really hard. Your dad is laughing so much that tears are coming out of his eyes, your mom can't stop giggling, and your sister is holding her stomach. You can say, "We were all falling about when the comedian told that airport story. It was probably the funniest thing we've heard in months. Even my dad, who usually doesn't laugh much, was cracking up." Here's another one. Imagine your coworker is telling everyone in the break room about something embarrassing that happened to her at the grocery store yesterday. She was pushing her cart, not paying attention, and she accidentally walked right into a display of soup cans. The whole thing came crashing down, and everyone in the store turned to look at her. The way she tells the story is so animated and funny that everyone listening is laughing incredibly hard. You can say, "Everyone was falling about listening to her story. She's such a good storyteller, and even though it must have been embarrassing for her at the time, she made it sound absolutely hilarious. We were all in tears from laughing so much." Number 9, fall apart. This phrasal verb has 2 main meanings. First, it can mean that something physically breaks into pieces or stops working properly, like when an old chair breaks or a machine stops functioning. Second, it can mean that someone becomes very upset emotionally and can't handle their feelings. Or it can mean that a situation, plan, or relationship breaks down and stops working. It's used for both physical things and emotional or situational things. For example, let's talk about the physical meaning first. Imagine you have an old backpack that you've been using since high school. You've had it for maybe 10 years, and you've taken it everywhere, to school, to work, on trips, everywhere. Lately, you've noticed the zipper is broken, the straps are tearing, and there's a big hole in the bottom. One day you're walking to work and the whole strap rips off completely. Your backpack is basically destroyed now. You can say, "My backpack is falling apart after 10 years of daily use. I really need to buy a new one soon because this one is beyond repair. It's been a great backpack, but everything has a lifespan." Here's another one, and this time let's use the emotional meaning. Imagine your friend just went through a really difficult breakup with someone she dated for 5 years. They broke up 2 weeks ago, and at first she seemed okay. But today she calls you crying on the phone. She tells you she can't stop thinking about her ex, she can't focus at work, and she feels like everything in her life is going wrong. She's really struggling emotionally right now. You can say, she's been falling apart since the breakup, and I'm really worried about her. I think she needs some support right now, so I'm going to visit her this weekend. Sometimes when people go through hard times, they just need a friend to be there and listen. Number 10, fall back. This means to retreat or move backward, usually in a strategic way. In military situations, soldiers might fall back when they need to move to a safer position. But we also use it in everyday life to talk about relying on something as a backup plan or returning to an earlier position or idea. It's about having something to return to when your first plan doesn't work. For example, think about someone who dreams of becoming a professional musician. She's been playing guitar and singing for years, and she really wants to make it her career. But she also knows that the music industry is very competitive and uncertain. So while she pursues her music dream, she also gets a teaching degree as a backup plan. That way, if the music career doesn't work out, she has something stable to fall back on. You can say, she's pursuing her music career but got a teaching degree to fall back on if things don't work out. It's smart to have a backup plan, especially when you're following a risky dream. This way, she can chase her passion without worrying too much about financial security. Here's another one. Imagine there's a big discussion happening at your company about whether to move the office to a new building downtown. Some people love the idea because the new building is modern and in a great location. Other people don't like it because it's farther from where they live. After weeks of debate, the company realizes the new building is actually too expensive and the move would cause too many problems. So they decide to stay in their current office after all. You can say, after considering all the options, the company decided to fall back to the original plan and stay in the current building. Sometimes the first plan really is the best one, and it's okay to admit that and not make unnecessary changes. And that's it. We've covered 10 really useful phrasal verbs today. I know phrasal verbs can be tricky because they don't always make sense when you translate them word by word, but the more you hear them and practice using them, the more natural they'll feel. Remember, the key to learning phrasal verbs is to pay attention to how native speakers use them in real conversations, in movies, in TV shows, and in everyday life. Try to use these phrasal verbs yourself when you're speaking or writing in English. Maybe start with one or two that feel easy to remember, and then gradually add more to your vocabulary. I really hope this lesson was helpful for you today. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. We upload new videos every single day right here at American Lingo Academy, and I'd love to have you as part of our learning community. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing, keep learning, and remember, you're doing an amazing job. Bye for now.